So, what are the four humors and how do they function in the human body? Blood, or the sanguine humor, is the red, hemoglobin-rich portion of the blood and serves the air element. Blood is hot and wet in temperament, or warm and moist. Blood is hot or warm because it has the energetic potential to fuel cellular metabolism. Blood is wet or moist because it is rich, nutritive, and flourishing, promoting nutrition and growth. Since life requires both moderate heat as well as moderate moisture, blood is the essence of life and health. Galen said that blood was made from perfect nourishment, perfectly digested. Since blood is the perfect superfood for all the organs and tissues which have an absolute need for it, blood has an attractive virtue. The principal function of blood is its vital function. Blood is the humoral vehicle for the vital principles. The lungs inhale fresh air with its vital energy, or pneuma, and pumps it to the heart. In modern medicine, this vital substance in the air is oxygen. The heart infuses this pneuma into the blood, generating the vital principles. The heart then pumps the blood carrying these vital principles to every cell, organ, and tissue in the body. These vital principles are three in number: the vital force, or basic kinetic energy of the organism; the innate heat, or thermal energy that drives cellular metabolism; the thymos, or immune force of the organism that powers the immune response. Together, these vital principles support cellular metabolism, energy, vitality, and bodily functions, and immunity. Phlegm, or the phlegmatic humor, includes all the clear fluids of the body, not just phlegm. The phlegmatic humor serves the water element. Phlegm is cold and wet in temperament, like water. The phlegmatic humor is cold because it cools the body and functions like a coolant. Unlike blood, phlegm lacks the thermal energy necessary to fuel cellular metabolism. The phlegmatic humor is wet like water and nourishes and moistens the organs and tissues of the body on a deep and fundamental level. Like blood, phlegm is a moist, flourishing humor. Like water, the phlegmatic humor has an expulsive virtue that dissolves and transports, cleanses, purifies, and expels. The expulsive virtue or function of the phlegmatic humor is best observed in the lymph. The phlegmatic humor can be broadly subdivided into mucous fluids and serous fluids. The mucous fluids are the secretions of the body's mucous membranes. When excessive or aggravated, they accumulate as phlegm. The serous fluids pervade the deeper organs and tissues of the body and perform various functions according to their location and physical properties. The major serous fluids of the body are plasma, lymph, interstitial fluids, synovial fluids, pleural fluid, pericardial fluid, and cerebrospinal fluid. Collectively, the various mucous and serous fluids of the phlegmatic humor perform the following functions. They moisten and nourish the organs and tissues of the body on a deep and fundamental level. They cool the body, absorbing and dispersing excess heat. They lubricate and protect the joints, membranes, and tissues of the body against friction. They cleanse and purify the organs, tissues, and vital fluids of the organism. They dissolve and transport vital substances and nutrients throughout the body. They facilitate the bodily secretions and the expulsion of waste. Yellow bile, or the choleric humor, is also called the bilious humor. It serves the fire element and is hot and dry like fire. The yellow bile of Greek medicine is basically the same bile that is secreted by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Embodying the transformative metabolizing power of fire, yellow bile has a digestive virtue or force. Yellow bile is hot because it embodies metabolic heat or energy. Yellow bile is dry because it thins, rarefies, digests, and breaks things down. Yellow bile is produced by the liver. A small residue of yellow bile, or the choleric humor, enters the bloodstream. The rest of it goes to the gallbladder, its storage vessel or receptacle, to be used as needed for various digestive functions. In the bloodstream, yellow bile thins and rarefies the blood, enabling it to pass through the tiniest capillaries. Choleric residues in the blood also facilitate the inflammatory response. In the lungs, choleric residues act as a surfactant to keep the respiratory passages open and free of congestion. Digestively, yellow bile, which is excreted by the gallbladder into the duodenum, has a lot in common with the gastric secretions, which are strong acids that are also hot, sharp, penetrating, and caustic. The digestive virtue of the stomach acids would digest the very stomach itself if it weren't for its mucus coating of the opposite yet complementary phlegmatic humor. The main digestive function of yellow bile is to be the humoral vehicle for the excretion, digestion, and assimilation of fats and lipids. Fats, which are metabolized by bile, contain the highest caloric heat or fire value of any nutrient. In the bowels, yellow bile acts as a natural laxative. Its caustic, mildly irritating nature stimulates the defecation reflex. Bile also colors the stools a healthy brown. Black bile, or the melancholic humor, is also called melancholy or atrabile. Normal black bile is a sediment of blood or the sanguine humor. Black bile serves the earth element in the structural growth, maintenance, and repair of the body. Its cold, dry, astringent taste and retentive virtue precipitate, harden, and crystallize, and have a thickening, drying, concentrating effect on metabolism. Black bile is produced by the liver. Only a small residue of it enters the bloodstream. The rest goes to its storage vessel or receptacle, the spleen, to be used as needed for various digestive functions. In the bloodstream, black bile thickens the blood, enabling it to clot and produce scar tissue. This function is analogous to the platelets, fibrin, and clotting factors of modern medicine. In the bloodstream, black bile also takes minerals from the earth, like calcium and phosphorus, and deposits and crystallizes them into the bones. Black bile is necessary for the formation of bone and the other structural connective tissues of the body. Digestively, slight vapors or residues of black bile enter the stomach to stimulate the gastric secretions and awaken the appetite. The retentive virtue of black bile in the stomach enables it to hold on to the food juices long enough to digest them properly. In the colon, or large intestine, the cooling, drying, astringent action of black bile condenses, hardens, and solidifies the stool. The retentive virtue of black bile also enables the colon to hold on to the stool until the time is right for defecation. Being the most effete humor, black bile is also the most vulnerable to excess, aggravation, and pathology. This inherent morbidity and pathological tendency of black bile is also due to the fact that it is contrary to blood or the sanguine humor in its basic qualities. This is David Osborne. I hope you have enjoyed this video about the four humors. For more information on this and other subjects pertaining to Greek medicine, please visit my website, www.greekmedicine.net.